And here we are. The title is Logical Reasoning. That is our title. What is logic? Here is the definition of logic. Definition of logic. First, before we define what logic is, for our historical aspect of logic, logic was first discovered by a Greek philosopher, Aristotle. It was first discovered by a Greek philosopher called Aristotle, who was a pioneer of logical reasoning. Who was a pioneer of logical reasoning. So that is the historical aspect of logic. Now we have what is called logical reasoning. Logical reasoning. Definition of logical reasoning: it refers to the process of using logical principles. It refers to the process of using logical principles. Logical principles. It refers to the process of using logical principles and rules to arrive at a conclusion. Or solution of a problem. So the process of using logical principles and rules to arrive at the conclusion or solution of a problem is called as logical reasoning. Another thing, in logical reasoning, we have basic terminologies. Terminology. These basic terminologies, there are three. One of them is called proposition stroke statement or propositional statement. Number two is propositional variable, and the last one is propositional logic. In fact, there are four. The fourth one is connective, and we are going to learn types of connective symbols. So let's start with the first one. We said that the first one is proposition slide statement. Statement. What is it? What is proposition or propositional statement? A propositional statement is a collection of declarative statements that has either true value, which is true, or a false, but not both. It is either true or false, but not both. A propositional statement, they are statements that one cannot argue on them, but those ones that are not propositional statement, one can argue on them. For example, someone says that ice floats on water. This one someone can argue and say that truly ice can float on what? On water. But for this case, this number 2, it is not a propositional statement. That is why I've put this ash. That's star. When one says that do your homework, do your homework. You know, in a propositional statement, the only answer that we expect as per the argument is true or false. But when a statement is unpropositional, to mean our response cannot be true or false. For example, ice floats on water. Is it true that ice can float on water? Or is it false that ice cannot float on water? But this second statement, do your homework, this one is it seems like it is a command. Therefore you cannot respond by false or true, but propositional statement, the response should be false or true. And when it is true, it should be true. When it is false, it should be false. And it cannot be at the same time true and false. I hope that is clear. Another basic terminology here that we have is propositional variable. Propositional variable. This is the second one now. I think you can see it clear. This one here, it is defined as these are variable. Let me just write this one. These are variable in bracket x, y, z, or p, q, r, or capital A, capital B, and capital C. Close the bracket. That we use we use to represent statements or proposition. I think we've talked about proposition up there, and some of the examples that we've seen is such as ice floats on water. That is an example. So now in this case we can say that in a prepositional variable we use symbols. We use symbols, for example, x, y, z, or we can use symbol of p, q, r, or we can use symbol of capital A, capital B, and capital C to represent these propositional statements. For example, we can decide to say that A it represents what? The statement, the prepositional statement, ice floats on water. Such that wherever you see A, you can just know that A represents a prepositional statement that ice floats on water. And remember, I've just said that in propositional variable, we use symbols to represent the statement from propositional statement, from proposition. And I hope that is clear. So automatically when you see B, or for example we can say this, B signifies what? It signifies that China is in Europe. First, when you look at this statement that China is in Europe, the response there should be false or true to mean it is a propositional statement. So when we want to represent it by a propositional variable, we use a symbol. Like in this case, we've used B as the symbol to represent that China is in Europe. I hope that is clear. We have the third basic terminology in this topic. This third basic terminology is propositional logic. Being that I don't have a blackboard, I cannot write everything, so your work is to be keen. Propositional logic, that is where we are now as a basic terminology in this topic. Propositional logic is concerned to statements to which the truth value, which is true, and false value can be assumed to. This propositional logic, it is bestly explained in the truth table, where we will go to and you will see where it is. It is concerned to statements to which the truth value there is true and false value there is false. They are assumed to, like false and true. These values here are the values that are assumed to. These values here, you can see them clearly. We are going to the third basic terminology. The third basic terminology here is connective. Is it really third? Fourth. The fourth basic terminology here is connective. Connective. This connective, as per the recent classes that you've attended, I hope you will easily understand them when you understood them there before. So here you can easily understand them. So connective here connect the propositional variables in a propositional logic general. It connect the propositional variable in a propositional logic. It connects the propositional variable in a propositional logic general. Here there are two basic terminologies that appears here. Number one, we have propositional variable. Number two, we have propositional logic. So the function of this connective is to connect them. You connect propositional variable in a propositional what? Logic. To mean propositional variables, we said that they are represented by what? Symbols. For example, we can say A and we say B. These are the variables A and B. I hope you've met them severally in your truth tables. So, for us to connect A and B, we will use what? A connective. So, before we connect them to appear in a propositional logic general, I want to show you these connectives. They are how many and how do they look? Now write types of connective. Types of connective. So we have types of connective. Generally, there are 6 types of connective, as I am going to state them below. Number 1, we have this one here. They are in terms of symbols. This one here, V or U. This one, it is called a conjunction connective. Conjunction connective. Conjunction connective means or. I hope that is clear. The first one, we have this one with the symbol V and or U. It means or, and it is called conjunction connective. Now, how does it works? How does conjunction connective works? We have this. It works in a truth table. At the same time, it works in a what? In a verbal statement. For example, when we bring two examples like this. We have example 1. Example 1, let us use this propositional variable a, because we want to join them, a and b. We want to join them. So now for example here, the first propositional variable here, which was a, we can use this statement that it is raining. It is raining. Again, b, propositional variable b, we say that the ground is wet. The ground is wet. So here when we want to use this example here under these propositional variables to describe or to define all these types of connectives. So for number 1, we've just begun with a conjunction connective. So here, for us to connect them by using conjunction connective, which is this symbol or this one, to means or, in a verbal, in terms of verbal meaning. In terms of verbal meaning, the statement is going to be to connect a and b, because we say that prepositional variable represent it is raining. That one is prepositional variable a, and b represents the ground is wet. So when we want to connect them, we will say that we are going to say that it is raining. It is raining, or the ground is wet. So when you check here, this or here, it means a conjunction connective, which is this v here. I hope you can see it very clearly. Let us go to another connective. Another connective that we have here as our number 2 is called disconjunction connective. When the conjunction connective was v, it was inverted, it was an upright v now. So this one, its symbol is going to be inverted like this, or inverted u, hiyo yenye tunasoma ni hiyo, this one here. It means and. This one means and. I hope you can see this very clearly. This disconjunction connective means and. Hope that is clear. E.g., for example, we just want to use the same propositional variables that we used the other side. A was it is raining, while B was the ground is wet. That is it. Now, when you want to represent these propositional variables into a verbal meaning, we are going to connect them while using this conjunction connective. Now we will say that it is raining and the ground is wet, which is true. When it rains, the ground must be what? Must be wet. There is no day that it can rain and again the ground don't be wet. So that is how it is. Note it down. We are going to the third type of connective symbol. The third one here is negation. Is called negation. Negation. The symbol for negation is this one or this one. Those two. What does negation means? Negation means the opposite of something or of something. The opposite of this is this. For example, it means opposite. Opposite. For example, A was, it is raining. B, the ground is wet. I hope that is now clear. So here, how do we connect these two statements? By using a connective negation. We are going to say that, since we've said that negation just means opposite of something, we are going to say that it is raining but the ground is not wet. So now the opposite, when you say that it is raining and the ground is wet, that is true. And when you say that it is raining but the ground is not wet, that is false, because there is no way it can rain and the ground fails to be wet. So to mean that this second statement always depends on the first one, but when it fails to depend on it, it becomes opposite, and that one mathematically we call it negation. I hope that is clear. We are going to the fourth one. I say there are 6. We are going to the fourth one. The fourth one here is implication. Implication. The symbol of implication is what? It's this one here. That one is the symbol of implication. Implication means if, comma, then. If, then. That is the meaning of implication there. So, we want to use this implication in terms of verbal statement or verbal meaning while using these two proportional variable and proportional what? Statement. Now it is going to be like this. We want to put them in a propositional logic now. It is going to be like this, e.g., A, we say that it is raining. B, we say that it represents that the ground is wet. The ground is wet. So here, how can we connect them while using the implication symbol or implication symbol in terms of variable statement? Now it is going to be like this. It if you begin with this, if it is raining, if it is raining, then the ground is wet. I hope it brings a logical meaning there. It brings a logical meaning, and you can see that. So we have the fifth one. The fifth one is called a by implication. By implication. The symbol for by implication is this one here now. When you check at the implication its symbol, you will only see an arrow you will see the arrow on one side, but by implication arrows are on both sides. So by implication means if and only if. That is its meaning. If and only if. I hope we are just about to finish, so just wait a little bit. We are about only one more. So for us to combine propositional statement that was being presented by the propositional variable A, here it is raining. B, the ground is wet. So here my good people, for us to connect them in an understandable manner, we will say that we are going to say that if it is raining, it is raining if and only if the ground is wet. I hope that one you can understand. It is raining if and only if the ground is wet. To mean if the ground is not wet, it is not raining. The sixth one, we have another one called exclusive. The sixth one is exclusive. Exclusive means plus. You exclude something. When you exclude it, it becomes plus. When you include it should be positive. It should be negative. So these five ones, they are the ones that we can represent in a verbal statement meaning. But we have exclusive, we have this one called tautology, and we have this one contradiction. So these three ones, these ones here, They are being best explained in a true table. True table. So don't be worried, because our next class will be dwelling on true table. This was this was just an introduction. So be ready in our next class to talk about true table. Thank you. As you know me by my name is Otieno Vincent. Always be ready to receive these classes, because they are more important as explained. Thank you.